we begin with breaking news from the United States, where the Senate has approved President Trump's spending bill by the narrowest of margins. The so-called Big Beautiful Bill adds trillions to the national debt and includes big cuts to healthcare and food programs. It overcame opposition from Democrats and from within the Republican Party after a turbulent overnight session. Ultimately, the Senate was split 50-50, leaving Vice President JD Vance to cast the tie-breaking vote.
On this vote, the yeas are 50, the nays are 50. The Senate being evenly divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative. The bill as amended is passed.
Straight to Washington then, and our correspondent, Benjamin Alvarez-Gruber. Welcome, Ben. This couldn't have been any closer.
That's right, that was very close indeed, and that Senate Republicans even required this tiebreak of Vice President JD Vance that we just saw there. Even considering that they have a majority in the Senate shows also how big the opposition was within the party, and Republicans that needed to be convinced to approve this bill. For hours, lawmakers worked through several amendments to the bill. It was an overnight session at the Senate, as you just mentioned. It takes a lot of time considering the wide range of topics included in this bill that the White House calls the One Big Beautiful Bill. We have taxes. There is something on healthcare, very important too, that will also probably continue to lead to heightened discussions in the House. There's also something on the southern border, so immigration topics as well, and also on the national debt. But the Senate did make some changes, especially to Medicaid, so we risk to have more discussions over that in the House, because according to an assessment from the Congressional Budget Office, this new bill might lead to nearly 12 million U.S. citizens that are estimated to lose health care under this budget bill. So definitely a lot of discussions that will still happen. It's leading to this deadline that was put forward by President Trump until the 4th of July, when he wants to actually sign this bill into legislation.
So tell us about some of the Republican opposition to this bill.
So there were several Republicans that sided with the Democrats that have criticized this. One of those Democratic senators, Senator Bernie Sanders, who calls this the most dangerous piece of legislation in the modern history of our country. So there were some Republicans, 3 Republicans, that sided with Democrats. One of them, Senator Tillis of North Carolina, Senator Collins from Maine, and also Senator Paul of Kentucky, who opposed this bill, voted in opposition with the Democrats. But what's really interesting, Phil, here, it's not just some Republicans, but also of one who was the closest ally of President Trump, and that's Elon Musk, the world's richest man, who is not holding back in his criticism on this bill. He called it a political suicide for the Republican Party. He said it would destroy millions of jobs in America. He said it would cause immense strategic harm to our country too. So Musk has been very openly opposing this bill, and especially criticizing what he said will be damages to industries in the future. And that's a quite remarkable part that we should look at now, because Elon Musk has vowed to help actually defeat Republicans who voted in favor for Trump's mega bill. This could be just a promise, as he said, that he might even open a political party in opposition of this bill. But it shows how Elon Musk, who was the closest advisor of President Trump, is now openly defying and openly criticizing the Republicans that helped this bill to pass the Senate.
OK, so briefly, Ben, this isn't done yet. There is still more to come.
That's right. The package now goes back to the House, where Speaker Mike Johnson, also from the Republicans, warned senators not to deviate too far from what the chamber had already approved. And there were some changes, particularly to Medicaid. So we can expect that there will be more discussions now happening in the House before it then passes to President Trump, who is now in Florida and already praised Senate for passing what he called is the most important piece of legislation so far.
Thanks for that, DW Benjamin Alvarez-Gruber in Washington, D.C. Thank you.